Cool, so now you should have a scene file with the rig referenced in and the textures loaded. Next, I'll take you on a tour of the rig so you can understand how to use it. I'll be using the Adventure rig, but if you're using the Deadpool or Spider-Man rig, you should find the same controls on there. So join me as we take a tour of the rig.
So before we take a look, I'd recommend clicking this Select Surface Objects button, which is this diamond button up here. You can use this to toggle the ability to select the body of the character rather than the controls. So if I turn it off again, you'll find that I can select the body as we've just done to add the textures. If I click this, it means that I can't select it anymore. If you find you need to select the body or any surface objects such as polygons that we create later in the class, just click this button again to switch it off. I'm using this now so we don't accidentally select the body geometry instead of the controls, as it can get a bit frustrating. Okay, so the head control is the light blue box that surrounds the head. If you left click it, you have selected it, and you'll see the channel box on the right show the name of the control and the list of attributes associated with that control. Most, but not all, will have the translate X, Y and Z and rotate X, Y and Z. These are the standard 3D axes that are used to tell Maya where the control is placed in 3D space. There will often also be a bunch of extra attributes below these, such as these you see on the head control here. They will be different depending on what the control is and what it is intended to do. So now you have the head control selected, just hit the F key on your keyboard, like that. The F key will frame the selected node. A node is a name for any thing in Maya, in the same way that we would say thing in the real world to describe any object within it. From here we can tumble, track and dolly the camera around it more easily. If you want to translate or move the head, I can click the W key, or click the cube surrounded by triangles on the toolbar here. This will bring up an axis at the pivot point of the control I have selected. On the axes there are 3 arrows, green for translate Y, blue for translate Z, and red for translate X. Have a go grabbing each arrow with a left click and dragging them around. You can hit Z to undo any action you do. You can also click the squares that are in line with 2 of the axes, which will allow you to move that control in that plane only. Give this a go and see how it feels. Lastly, you can select the center of the control, which will allow you to freely move the control in all axes at the same time. Hold down the W key and left click hold, and this menu will pop up. Go to Axes and just make sure that Parent is checked, which it is. This is the space that the control is using. Parent means it is showing you the axes of the control itself, which is a good thing. You can also set it to Object or World, but for now let's leave it in Parent so as not to confuse matters. If we need to change it later when animating, I'll let you know. Now if you try hitting E on the keyboard, or click the cube over here with the circular arrow around it, you will switch to the rotate tool, and you will see a sphere with the 3 rotation axes on them. Again, it's green for rotate Y, blue for rotate Z, and red for rotate X. Have a go left click dragging each axis in turn. You can grab and rotate the light blue circle that surrounds the sphere. This circle will stay relative to the camera view, no matter how you rotate it around. Like so. Lastly, you can click the sphere anywhere on its surface and rotate it freely in all axes at the same time. Again, let's hold down the E key this time and left click and hold to bring up the rotation tool menu. And make sure that the rotate space is set to object, which it is. Again, we'll leave it like this for the time being. Now if you just select the control again, you'll see that there are a few other attributes in the channel box here. We don't really need to worry about these for now, but if you do need to select any attributes at any time on any control, you can have a click in the text box and either add a value, hit number 4. You won't really see much happen, but I think if I watch the neck and undo it, you'll see a little bit of movement there. Or I can just click on the text and middle mouse drag left and right, and that will move that value up and down, and you can see more interactively what's happening with the attribute itself. Some attributes will only allow a 0 or 1, which is essentially an on-off switch. 1 meaning on and 0 meaning off. So that was the head control. Quite a lot to take in there, so if you're new to all of this, maybe hit pause and spend some time playing with the translate and rotate tool. Then when you're ready, come and join us for the rest of the controls.